Yeah, I'm officially worried about this team, ladies and gentlemen. But what is going on, everybody? It is, as always, your host, your best friend, your confidant, your number one source, Neil Villapiano, and welcome to another edition of the Devil's State of Mind podcast right here on the Hockey Podcast Network as well. Sports Wire Radio, the best place to get everything you need to know about your. This team is no longer in a slump, ladies and gentlemen, New Jersey Devils. And as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check this episode out and all the episodes that I put out. I greatly appreciate it. Also, I saw that I gained about 3 new subscribers since the last episode that I had my good buddy Jersey Joe on. I'm at 95 over on YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please go over and do so as I am on the verge of getting 100 subscribers. Also, I will be sharing some very interesting news at the end of this episode that my guest today will also find out. She has no idea about what I'm going to say, and I will let you all know when the time is right. So, anyway, we do have a special guest joining us on this episode. I feel like I haven't had enough guests on this season. I feel like you guys are getting sick and tired of hearing me sit here for 30 to 45 minutes straight talking. So I thought it would be nice to bring on some more guests. I do have another episode coming out later this week with another guest. So I am on a roll, ladies and gentlemen. But this person I'm bringing on, she is a really good friend of mine. I have come to know her over time. She's been a supporter of my podcast for a while now. And she also is one of several lovely ladies that runs a very cool brand new Devils, fan account on Instagram that we're going to get into. She is awesome. And I'm so happy to have her on because she was also featured in a most recent article on the Devils' main website written by Catherine Bogart. So, without further ado, actually, you know what? Hold on. Before I bring my guest on, and she's probably already upset, I can see it. I want to address the elephant in the room. I am obviously wearing non-Devil State of Mind stuff. Why is that? I am wearing No Bad Sports merchandise, which happens to be the brand by the hockey guys who were actually at a Devils game, the Devils overtime win, which was also the last win that they've had recently, and their first win, I think, of January, if I have that correctly. Unfortunately, the hockey guys were at the game, and they're also doing a giveaway currently to win a Jack Hughes jersey, I think some tickets and some other stuff, which is really cool. And I actually got their Devils bundle, which I'm going to show you really quickly here on their website. Devils Game Time set. They have a red one and a black one. They have it in all different sizes except double XL, I guess, for the hoodie. But you get a hoodie, you get the hat, and you get the sweatshirt. I'm wearing all of them. You are not seeing the pants because this is a family show, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't want to get in trouble by YouTube by any means. But yeah, it's up for 120 bucks. I think you can get free shipping as well. And also, if you entered the giveaway and you go get this bundle, you will get 60 additional entries to the giveaway. I have no idea when it ends. I don't think they ever said when it was going to end, but nonetheless, just wanted to show you guys. I also posted it over on my socials at Devil State on on Twitter and also at Devil State of Mind over on Instagram. So I wanted to quickly get into that. But as always, Devils fans, we have a bunch to get to here on the Devil State of Mind podcast. So let's not waste any more time and get rolling. And of course, it's time to welcome on my good friend, Ashley Zaccardo. Ashley, welcome to the Devil State of Mind
Hi,
podcast. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm phenomenal. Thank you for having me. How are you?
Like I said to you before we jumped on here, I'm doing pretty well, other than the fact that the Devils dropped both games of the back to back. So forget, people, what I said in the last episode when I was talking to Jersey Joe about this could be the weekend, the get right weekend. No, I was completely wrong about that because the Devils found new ways to piss everybody off because of the lack of shots, A, and B, just losing games that they really shouldn't be losing at home, as they've lost now 3 in a row at home after winning 6 in a row prior to that. So, really quickly, I'm going to go out of order as from what I said to Ashley in the beginning. So let's just dive in first and foremost with talking about this Devils team in the current state. So they've won just 2 of their last 11 games, and they go into a pretty open week. Not a lot of games. They have 2 games this week. They have Wednesday at home against the Bruins. They will also be putting legendary Devils coach Jacques Lemaire into the Ring of Honor, which I don't know why it took this long to put him in the Ring of Honor. I think he should have something retired instead of Ring of Honor, but coaches
I
don't have
fully
jerseys.
agree. I
Oh,
fully agree.
I don't know. I don't know what you could do. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. And then the Devils wrap up the week. I think later this week against the Montreal Canadiens in Montreal.
Yes.
So these are winnable games. But as they've just proven over the weekend, if you don't play well, you ain't winning anything. So Ashley, I'm gonna give you the floor. What is going on with this Devils team of late?
Okay, so they're not clicking the way they clicked before Christmas. And we need something to be shaken up. I don't know if it's lines. And I'm not saying go full Lindy Ruff and go line crazy and throw them all in a blender
Give it a
because I don't
full
agree with
blender,
that.
people.
But we do need something different. Whether
Mhm.
it's throwing Timo up with Nico or Cotter with Jack, I don't know what it is, but we need something that's going to click. And yeah, they also need to simplify their game.
I think you nailed it right on the head. That's the big thing for me looking at this team. And I put this out on my personal Twitter account at the NVP show in case you want to go follow. I tweeted this on a train ride coming back from my girlfriend's house on NJ Transit, which by the way took me an extra 40 minutes to get home today. Thanks a lot, NJ Transit. But I'm not Frank the Tank. I'm not going into that. I'm not going into that today.
Are
I
you
have no
surprised though?
no, I'm never surprised by NJ Transit. I'm surprised if I get to my destination on
On
time. That's the shocking thing. So I was talking about it, and I actually put out some lines, and I want to get your thoughts on it. But before I do that, really quickly, I agree exactly with Ashley. The Devils right now are not clicking, and this is no longer they're in a slump. No, this is now something is wrong, and they're getting exposed for what they lack. They clearly need to add something, whether it's a top 6 or top 9 scorer, adding some bottom 6 up, which I think they're going to do regardless. And like Ashley said, they need to switch up the lines. Now, no, we're not asking to go full Lindy Ruff, but here's the funny thing, Ashley. I think Sheldon Keefe is doing exactly what Lindy did, but the complete opposite side of the spectrum. He's not changing the lines at all. He doesn't
He's,
do anything.
no,
Like,
he's playing it safe.
he is playing it safe. And the only time I've seen him change lines was yesterday when he started throwing out Nico, Brat, and Jack together, which
Hmm.
when he does that, that's a sign of desperation that they need a goal. And you know it was bad when the fourth line, which granted scored the only goal of yesterday's loss against the Senators, was out there when the net was empty because that was the only type of faith that Sheldon Keefe had in that. So yeah, this team needs a change of some sort. And one of the ones I suggested and Ashley brought up as well is changing the lines. Now, I think the first line should be Timo Meyer, Nico Heischer, and Jesper Bratt. That line in the past has had a lot of success. There is no reason not to go back to it because they need chemistry. They need chemistry. It's such an important thing. With Jack Hughes, it's always complicated with him because you just don't know exactly what he's looking for or what he needs. But the thing I was going to try was Paul Cotter on his left wing and then Stefan Nason on his right. Again, you're shaking up the lines. You're putting in some good. You're just trying something new. The bottom 6. Now, this is where people might completely disagree with where I'm going with this. I have Eric Holla playing left wing because he's also a winger. People tend to forget that. Dawson Mercer playing center and Andre Palat on the right side instead of the left. The reason I say that is because Dawson Mercer played center yesterday in the loss against Ottawa. Was much better as a center than he is a winger. He could play both for sure, but he looked a lot better. He had that one chance in the slot. Ashley was at the game, so she knows exactly what I'm talking about. Had that one shot in the slot. Great feed from Heischer right in front. Just a really good save from Anton Forsberg on that one. But I don't have a fourth line completely, Ashley. And I'll tell you why. I think the Devils need to go to 11 forwards, 7 defensemen. And the
Okay,
reason that I say that is because there is one particular player who has certainly made headlines over the last 5 days or so that I think deserves a chance to be called up because he's playing really well of late, and that is Shimon Nemec, who has
of course.
15 points over his last, I think, 10 games, including a 5-point night not too long ago.
Hmm.
So, Ashley, what are your thoughts on Shimon Nemec maybe coming up and trying to help this team?
So we actually just went to Utica
I did
to
see
see
that.
them
I was going to
play.
bring that up. You did go to Utica recently.
We did. We went to Utica because now my favorite player is Nolan Foote,
Interesting.
and um, why not go see them play? We know him. We know Nemo. We know so many of our players in Utica. So we were like, let's
I'm a
go.
big Max Wellman guy, personally.
As you should be. He's phenomenal.
I love him.
He's a sweetheart.
Hmm.
Nemo is a great player. His style of playing has grown exponentially being in Utica. He's developed a lot.
Hmm.
I fully think he deserves to be up here right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I will say this. I will repeat what I said in the last episode. The Nemec article that came out through a European news reporting, whatever, was taken a lot out of context. I think it was misinterpreted a bit, which James Nichols of New Jersey Hockey Now even said it earlier today when he was on Daily Faceoff. It was taken out of context a bit, and that the communication is still very clear between the Devils and Shimon Nemec. Like there is no discontent in terms of like Nemec being upset at the Devils. I think if anything, he's more upset at himself that he couldn't get going enough to earn a spot on the team for the most part this year. I mean, he started the year up with the Devils, but with the play of Jonathan Kovacevic, who we all thought was just going to be a seventh defenseman on this team, um, it turned out to be a lot more than that. It's a good problem to have in a way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about are we going to keep Kovacevic. I know the Devils have expressed interest in keeping him. I'm not going to focus on that because it's not a concern right now. I think that Nemec could bring a scoring punch to this team because he's played well as a quarterback on the power play when Dougie was out last year. I thought he showed a lot of good flashes. I think this guy is a top 4 defenseman long term, and the Devils are very high on him. And it seems like he finally got his groove going in Utica. And I will argue this, Ashley. I don't know if you agree. I think that injury that he suffered in the World Championships prior to this season, I think that affected him. I don't think he fully recovered from it by the time training camp came around.
You're probably absolutely correct. They don't really tell us much about their injuries, so
Now,
we're left in the dark a lot.
of
So we're
course,
just being like, oh, they're not injured, but they're most likely injured. So I fully agree with
exactly.
you. And I also do think that, like, the saying is things get lost in translation. I feel like it was just badly translated. They took it too literally, and
Yeah,
it became this whole big headline that it really should have probably never been.
exactly. And so again, I say to Sheldon Keefe and to Tom Fitzgerald that I think it's worth a shot to go 11 by 7. If you're not going to make a move right now to try to help, it's worth giving a shot because I think if you could have Nemec as a guy that can just kind of rotate in and out and give him some opportunity to play, that might give him the confidence. I mean, if he's feeling confident now, he gets called up not even because someone's hurt, but because they actually feel like he can help. I think that's a huge confidence boost for him. So I'm saying 11 by 7. I shook up the defensive pairings as well. Siegenthaler with Dougie, which has proven to be good in the past. I have Brendan Dillon dropping down to a second pairing with Kovacevic, and then I kept Luke Hughes and Pesci because I don't trust Luke Hughes with. Well, I mean, I just don't trust him with Dougie. I know people want to see it. I don't. It's
It
two
doesn't make
offensive
sense.
defensemen, and one of them's going to make a bad mistake, and I'm banking on it being Luke Hughes, unfortunately.
They were actually out there together at one point yesterday. I think just how people were switching, and I literally like looked at my father and I was like, why is Dougie out there with Luke?
It's a
Like, it's
recipe
just
for disaster.
yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's my thoughts. So the Devils, as Ashley unfortunately was able to witness both of these games in person, Devils dropped both games of the back-to-back, losing 3-1 to the Flyers, even though I say 2-1 because the empty netter was like with like 1/10 of a second left or whatever. Um, that sucked. And then yesterday, what sucked probably the most was the fact that the Devils had 17 shots in the first period, which was more than the entire game against the Flyers, didn't score. And then it had a total of, wait for it, 8 shots through 40 minutes after that. From your perspective, Ashley, because you were there in person, what is the vibe? Like, what is the vibe from the fans, A, and B, from what you could see from the bench? I don't know where you exactly you were sitting, but like, what is the vibe even on the bench in terms of what you've seen the last couple of games?
So, like, they're all good, and even the energy in there, the energy's high until something goes wrong, and then it just deflates,
Mm,
and you can't get it back. It seems like even after Tuna scored yesterday, the energy still wasn't what it was when the game had started.
yeah,
And I definitely think that that also does impact them because
yeah.
they say it that fans impact how they play. And it sucks because, like you want to be there and you want to cheer for them,
Hmm.
but they're making it really hard. I don't agree with the booing. I hate booing.
Hmm.
And I also I understand the booing, you're upset, you're annoyed, this is not what they should be doing,
Yep.
but it feels just like counterproductive at the same time. Like so that's how I feel about the booing. I am in 16, so like as much as I'm looking at the bench, I'm also not really paying attention to them on the bench. I know Nico was yelling at somebody on the bench the other day.
In the Flyers
Not
game or in the Senators game?
I don't remember.
Okay, fair enough.
And not like yelling angry, but like being the captain.
Trying to get the guys going. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
It it's tough. It's tough. I get, as I said earlier this morning, I get the fans' frustration because the expectations are high. Because this
yeah.
team was built to try to not only make the playoffs but go deep.
Hmm.
This is supposed to be the year where we prove that last year was a fluke. That this team is not a fluke because I think a lot of people look at how last year went and say this Devils team is nowhere close to being what we all thought they were going to be. They peaked way too early, this, that, and the other thing. This team is talented, but they're not fully built, in my opinion, yet. And even though Tom Fitzgerald did say in the offseason that he felt very confident about his offense, there was a reason why he was very much on the verge of getting Jonathan Marchessault signed and why the Devils were one of the finalists to potentially sign Steven Stamkos. Who knows what would have happened if they did that? I don't know what the specifics were, but I think that kind of shows that as Fitz wants to publicly say that he has confidence, there's also some obvious glaring hole. It's not just the bottom six issue right now. It's the whole forward group. And now we're in a point where we're no longer worried about the defense or goaltending. Thank God, because we fixed
Yes.
that. Now we got to go back and fix up the offense again from what it was. And I would argue to say that the offensive system was better, at least on paper, and from what I saw when Lindy was the coach. As funny as that is, because it was more of a forechecking, dump and chase type of play. Instead, what Sheldon Keefe is implementing is a rush offense, and that's being predicted left and right.
Not only that, we're not shooting as much as we're passing now. We're
Mm,
constantly passing the puck. Like Jack
yeah.
will be open, and instead of being selfish and shooting, he'll pass it. And I'm like, why wouldn't you just shoot the puck? And it's not
Yeah.
just him. Like, not to call Jack
No,
out. It's truly not him. It is a team thing.
you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think I don't know why he doesn't feel confident in passing it to Dougie on the power play. He just continuously ignores him. I don't know if it's because he doesn't trust him or if Jack thinks he's got to do it all on his own. But also these blind passes, as you mentioned before we jumped on, the blind passes from the Hughes brothers, because it's both of them, got to
It
stop.
is both of them.
They have to stop.
Yeah.
I don't I can't speak for Quinn. I cannot speak for Quinn Hughes. I don't know if he does that a lot. I doubt it because it doesn't seem like he does. But it feels like a Hughes brother thing that they just kind of go out there and blindly make plays in the hopes that it works. And I don't think sometimes the players expect it. And also, they're predictable. I don't know if you would agree with that.
A lot of them are very predictable. There'll be a few where like Jack has to go clean up something that Luke did sloppily, or even the other way around. And it's like, I get that you're brothers, but like you're on a team.
Yeah. And I
They
think a
can't
good
read your mind.
no, no, they can't. And I think a good example was the game against the Flyers. Devils, they got the 1-0 lead on a Dougie goal early on. It felt like in that moment, it's like, all right, cool, like we're rolling. And then Luke makes a horrific soft pass attempt to Pesci. It was easily pickpocketed by Couturier, and then he makes a pass to Michkov, who then goes and ties the game. And that was one of the many examples of Luke and Jack, because Jack has been doing it too, of these careless passes. And I don't think that they're being held accountable for it. And that's why I've argued I think Luke needs to be benched for a game because I think that he needs to just. I know that might be hard for some people and think, oh, Luke's never going to get back. Well, the kid's still young, and I wonder if if his last name wasn't Hughes, would people be thinking differently about him?
That's a hard one. That's a hard
It
one.
is.
This might be a hot take, but I fully think he's going to be better than both of his brothers once he's fully developed.
That is. I think his dad said that at one
Did he?
point. I think his dad might have said he's more talented than both Quinn and Jack, which
I
is
fully
would
believe
be
that. When
ironic,
he,
which would be so funny if he ended up being the best of the three because we all think Jack is going to be. So, but
I think it's going to be Luke.
I mean, he has the build for he's 6'3", he's over 200 pounds. The kid hasn't, I think, gotten into his body yet, and I think he's still learning how to play. Because again, this is only his second full year in the league. Last year was
Hmm.
his full rookie year. This is his sophomore season.
Yeah,
Full disclosure. So I think to just kind of wrap this up is this part of it is just the fact that this Devils team has 2 games this week. They need to get they need to change something. They cannot sit around and do nothing. And I don't put as much pressure on Tom Fitzgerald because I believe that part of the solution is in that locker room. It's not just that this team needs more offense. They do. Then I think they will get help. Whoever that might be, I think they'll get it. But I think that they need to get on somewhat of a roll here before Tom Fitzgerald really feels comfortable making a move because I don't think he wants to make a desperation move. But I get it. I also understand the sense of urgency as well. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens going into Wednesday's game. I really hope they don't embarrass themselves, especially with, you know, one of the greatest coaches in Devils history and the guy who really helped create that neutral zone trap that the Devils were so famous for in the 90s and early 2000s. Um, you know, I hope we don't do what we did to Sergey Breland last year. That's all I can hope for.
I was just going to say we don't play well on special nights.
We haven't been playing well on any type of
Well,
night or
that's
day
beside
of
the
late.
point, but
Right. We give guys their first NHL goal because why not? And that, you know, Artem Zub somehow gets the game winning goal. Why? Because that's how it's been going recently for the Devils. So,
that's
yeah,
devil's hockey.
that is Devils hockey. in a nutshell. And if you haven't experienced it yet, you are experiencing it right now. So before we get into the next part of our episode, I want to quickly, and Ashley will stay on, but I'm going to quickly read through my ad read from our good friends, courtesy of DraftKings Sportsbook. So here we go. Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs. You bet we are. Get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Scoring touchdowns is key to winning in the playoffs, and you, my friend, can score big by betting on them at DraftKings, the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like a player to score six. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and make your pick. Or you can do what I do, and that is literally make a prediction as to who I think is going to win. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, going off script a little bit because I'm allowed to. Um, I'm not really thrilled that I'm gonna probably get the Chiefs and Eagles again in the Super Bowl, because I'm just kind of like bored. The Lions were my hope, and they just completely did a Lions move. So hopefully Josh Allen and his now soon to be wife Haley Seinfeld, who also is my celebrity crush, nonetheless. Can somehow get beyond Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs, and also the refs. Non-disclosure. But yeah, no, you can actually, if you think, if Ashley thinks that the Chiefs are going to win, or the Eagles, or whoever you want to pick, you could do that. I think Ashley wants to chime in here 1 second.
Go Bills.
There you go. Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia. We will see. We'll see what happens. And you can get in on this action for this conference championship week. And all you have to do, because new draft customers, by the way, can bet just $5 and you get $200 in bonus bets instantly. And all you have to do this is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. All right. That was a longer ad read than I thought it was going to be, but I like having fun with it. DraftKings loves it when we go a little off script there. So, Ashley, the biggest reason that I wanted to have you on today, other than you being just a wonderful human being, is the fact that you were fortunate enough to be featured in a wonderful article posted last week, courtesy of Catherine Bogart. And not only were you featured, you're right smack dab at the top of it. Which I believe the picture on your left is of you and your dad when you were a child. I'm going to
Yeah,
just assume that. And then there's you from how recently was the picture on the right?
that's from last season.
Got you. So yeah, again, here's a little bit of the snippet. I'm not going to read it because I want Ashley to. This is her story, ladies and gentlemen. You could read this yourself on your own free time. We are here to listen to the person who the story is about. So Ashley, I'm going to ask you a very simple question. I don't know if it's as simple as Catherine asking you, but I'm just ask you simply: how'd you become a Devils fan?
That man in both of those pictures. So I'm a New Yorker through and through, like Staten Island, which can be argued not part of New York, I know. Um,
Staten Island is New Jersey 2.0.
Distinctly that. But anyway, I come from a house divided and a family divided in every sport.
Love it.
We are fully like Yankee Met, Giant Jet, Knicks, Nets, Rangers, Devils. Like down the line,
Love
we're
that.
full. And we're that big Italian family. So it's fun because everybody truly partakes in house divided rivalries.
Love it.
And my father, fun fact, was an Islander fan before the Devils came to Jersey.
Nice.
It was always like no to the Rangers.
I
And
got you.
everybody else in my family is a Rangers fan.
Hmm.
They took me to, I'm going to really age myself here. They took me to Brendan Byrne Arena for my first hockey game.
Nice. No, so it was still called Brendan Byrne Arena when you went,
It was either that or IZOD. I don't know which
or
one,
Continental. It probably was Continental then, because it
or
went. I think it
Continental.
went Brendan Byrne, Continental Airlines, and then I
IZOD.
thought,
Yeah.
which it
So
still
it's
is
either
today.
Brendan Byrne or Continental. But my father to this day calls it Brendan Byrne Arena. So
Shows his age. There you go. There you go.
When I was probably like 5, they took me to Brendan Byrne, which it definitely wasn't Brendan Byrne at the time because I think it changed in 1996
Something like
over.
that. Yeah, something like that.
Um, and I was like, I'm a Devils fan. And I think it's fun because he's a Mets fan and I'm a Yankee fan. So we go at each other all baseball season long.
I know you're a big baseball fan. I know
Very
for
big
a fact
baseball fan.
you are a huge Yankee fan.
Yes.
Huge Yankee fan.
We're just a big sports family. Grew up playing sports, grew up watching sports. So anyway, that picture of my father, the jersey he's wearing in that picture is the jersey I'm wearing in the picture from last season.
I literally just noticed that as you brought it up. I was like, wait a minute. Like, oh, that's so cool.
It's literally his jersey. I just get to wear it now because I'm not 5.
Fair enough. That's fair.
And
Love it.
we went to a game together, I guess 3 seasons ago. And it was like, I really have always wanted season tickets. And now that you and your sister aren't in college and you guys are doing your own thing and you have jobs, I think I'm going to get them. And I'm like, okay, let's get them. So we got 2 seats, and me and him, it's like our quality time together. So it's nice. And when I can't go, my mom goes.
Oh,
So
love that.
it's nice. It's become like a family thing. And the Devils fan base truly is just a big family. Like I've made so many friends, and I'm just really lucky.
Dang, that got me emotional there for a second. Sorry, I need a minute. No, that's awesome, and I'm glad you brought up that last part about the Devils fan base really feeling like, a family because like you, I've been so fortunate to make a lot of friends like you and like other people through my podcast and just being able to interact all the time. It's absolutely wonderful. And this fan base is so passionate and you see a lot of the same people every game you go to, you interact with the same people and you know that it's so important when the team wins and is successful because this fan base has been through, they've been through ups, but they've also been, especially in the generation that myself and you are in, we haven't had as much success
Mhm.
consistently. We have grown up with 2012 and that's 2017, 18, and that's about it. And
Yeah.
granted, 2023, 20. I love how I completely forget my own team's history. But my point is that the Devils haven't even reached the conference finals in well over a decade.
Mhm.
And nothing would make more Devils fans of a certain generation happier than to finally see this team be able to bring a championship. And this is the best opportunity, not this season specifically, but like the era of this Devils organization is about as good as it's been in a long time. And so when we have situations like we're having right now with the struggles and everything, it's frustrating because you don't want to go down the same, oh, here we go again. We're gonna fall off. We suck. We're never gonna do this, that, and the other thing. And the sky is falling, basically. So,
Yes.
but the point that you were making is so true is that it really is a family. This fan base is awesome. I mean, it's probably you could argue it's probably one of the smaller fan bases in the league just based off of, looking at, how much how big some of these other markets are. Just just being frank. But what makes it great, and I'm sure you can relate to this, is just seeing also Devils jerseys at other arenas. There were a lot of Devils jerseys in the game against Toronto last week. I saw a lot. I was actually really impressed by that. I'm going to be going to Nashville. Breaking news: going to Nashville in late February. So I will be there when the Devils are taking on the Predators. I'm really curious to see how many other Devils fans are going to be at that game. And I'm really excited to go to Nashville because I've never been there. And I'm really looking forward to going to Smashville, as they call it. So
I have a Smashville hat.
love that. Love that. I'm focusing on barbecue and hockey, and that's about it for
As you
May.
should.
I'm not getting a cowboy hat or I'm not getting boots. I'm not coming out of there spending $900 on, diamond studded boots that I'll never wear. Just gonna call it like it is. But yeah, I love this fan base, and my motto for this podcast is for the fans by a fan, because I don't try to come off as like a journalist or an insider or a reporter. I'm not. I am not. I am not James Nichols. I am not Daniel Moya. I am not, Amanda Stein. I'm not even Ryan Novozinski when he was with the Devils. Now he's with the Giants. God bless his soul. God, I miss Novo. I'm gonna be honest. I miss the man. I miss his battles with James Nichols on Twitter. I miss it all. But nonetheless, I'm not any of those guys. I am just simply somebody who gets the opportunity to talk about my team that I love for a living and write about them on Pucks and Pitchforks as well. And I love it. And I know for Ashley, um, she can agree with a lot of the things. And that's what brings me
Hold on.
to the thing. Yep.
So me and Kate went to the Panthers game,
I was in
and
attendance for that as well.
there were a lot of Devils fans. No, no, in
Oh,
Florida,
in Florida. In Florida. Okay, yeah, got you, got you.
and there were a lot of Devils fans in Florida. Like you'd be surprised how many of us there were around the arena.
Wow.
We're going to Buffalo in 2 weeks too.
Oh, hopefully it doesn't snow too much by that time. Hopefully not. I can't I mean, obviously it's not a guarantee, but that's another place I've wanted to go. I'm trying to go to every arena at
Me
some
too.
point in my life. I'm hoping next year. Next year, I hope my trip will be Seattle. That would be my go-to next year when they play the Kraken.
Mine
We
is
could
the West Coast Canada trip next year.
all
That's
of
the
West.
plan.
Wow, you want to go to the middle of nowhere in Alberta, Canada? Have fun with that.
No, but yes. I want to do Vancouver. I want, and it's so close. I might as well just do Calgary while I'm there.
You can do Calgary. You can do Edmonton. You can do
I
that.
don't know about that much. I don't know about going
Uh,
all the way to Edmonton.
that's a lot further north in Alberta, in case people don't know where that is. But it brings me to the thing that is the most exciting for me when talking to you, because, by the way, this page came out of nowhere for me. I think I might have been the first follower, like low
It's
key.
on TikTok. We were
It's on
on
TikTok
TikTok
as well.
first.
Which, by the way, TikTok, what a shock! Didn't go anywhere. Went away for about 10 seconds. It lasted about as long as Corey Crawford's tenure with the Devils. I took that from Brad Pack. That is not. I did not come up with that off the top of my head. I'm just going to say I got it from Brad Pack. Love that man. But they're on TikTok and they're on Instagram. I think that's the only two, right? If I have that correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Will they make a Facebook page? I hope not. Don't make Facebook. Facebook is awful. Um, but Ashley is one of several lovely ladies that are a part of the Barn Burner Beauties. I have to know the story behind this.
So you know Kate, you know me,
Of
you know
course,
Lauren.
I do.
We all obviously are big Devil fans. And we all post on our own TikToks and our own Instagrams. And we were like, why not just make a group page? We're all friends and we can just post hockey content because there needs to be more girls in the sports world. And we want to be welcoming because why not? Like, we're a bunch of really fun girls. We have high energy. And now Kate actually made friends with Madison and Abby, who you don't know. And we've met them at home opener and we're like, let's do it. Like they came, China's part of it. And it's just this big, like little family of us posting about hockey.
I I love that. And I was talking to you about it before we jumped on here, that I always get excited when there's more Devils accounts, whether it's a fan page or something like what you ladies are doing, because to me it's like growing up, and you can relate to this. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of pages and things and reporters that we could really look at and like get Devils content. You know, Devils fan page, I think he might be the longest tenured guy. He's been around for God knows how long at this point. Daniel Moya, who runs Devils Report. Justin Brady. I love how I'm giving people's names away. Like it's not Justin Brady doing Devil's Fanatics, who also like does a fantastic job. There's so many other people. Devil's Demolish and I, we collab on game day posts all the time. Really good dude. And now we got the Barn Beauties as well, which I will collab with them on Instagram for this episode so that they can share it. And we'll also get a clip out as well for you ladies to share as well on your socials. Um, I say we when in reality it's just me. I don't know why I'm used to saying we. Like say it like I'm not the only one, which I am.
Because you're doing multiple jobs at one time.
That is true. Yeah, Ashley knows what I do outside of Double State of Mind. I actually recorded an episode of Flames Cast, which covers the Calgary Flames here on THPN with my manager, Kyle Manifold. We literally just recorded it right before I jumped on here. The episode's already out, by the way, because Kyle likes to make it short, sweet, and to the point. I'm a little more detailed than that, but that's not a knock on him. That's just how I roll. Nonetheless, I think it's great. And I will leave a link to both the Instagram and the TikTok down here on YouTube if you guys are watching on YouTube, which again, I'm 5 subscribers away from 100. Can you please get me to 100? That would be great. By the end of we I got 3 new subscribers when I had Jersey Joe on last week. Can we get 5 for Ashley, please? 5 would be absolutely fantastic, and I'll give you a cookie if you do it. Devil's cookie. There, we'll make it really, really team specific. But no, make sure to go check out the Barn Beauties if you haven't already. Go follow them on TikTok and also on Instagram at Barn Burner Beauties on both, I believe, right? Same
Yeah,
handle for both.
on both.
Yep.
Yep.
There you go. And yes, because TikTok is still around, you will see content on both their Instagram and their TikTok for sure. So I mean, that's pretty much. I mean, I've gone through basically everything that I've wanted to. Ashley, this was wonderful. I could go on and on, talking with you about this team and talking about a lot of different things. But I don't want this episode to be too long. I don't want this to be like an hour plus because otherwise, I think the algorithm won't be as kind to us. But before I let you go, because I like to do this with all my guests. I like to roll out the red carpet and let the folks at home know where you can check them out. And I also know, which I just realized I forgot to mention, you also were creating some really cool Devils merchandise. So I'm going to give you the floor. Go ahead.
Um, okay, so it truly all started last year when I made my jacket, which
Which is
I
sick, by
painted a
the way.
denim jacket, and I have a picture of it. I can show you it. That
There you
jacket.
go. There you go.
And about 30 people have asked me if I was selling those jackets or where I got the jacket. And I'm like, I made it. No, I'm not selling it. No, I don't want to sell them. And it got to the point where everyone's like, you need to just sell them. So I made an Instagram, like jokingly. And sure enough, when I saw like certain designs, I'd be like, oh, that'd be cute as the Devils, make it. And I'd make it for me, I'd make it for my friends. And the Instagram hockey thing came out. And I
Yep.
was like, I'm making a shirt because I'm wearing it to the Ranger game. And I threw it on Twitter like as a joke and it blew up.
Mm.
And I was like, well, I guess I'm making 80 of these now. I still have more to send out. Like I've been doing them in batches
I
because
think you
I'm
still have mine, if I'm not mistaken. I think you still have mine.
yours might be in the mail.
Oh, lovely. I might have to
If
check my
it's not in
mailbox.
the
By
mail, it will be in the mail by Thursday.
fair enough. Got you. It's
But
somewhere. I'll get it. I'm gonna get it soon. Don't worry, guys.
you'll get it eventually. It's just been so like I am grateful, but I've been so overwhelmed by how many people were like, I need that
I
shirt.
want. Yeah, right. I want this. I want this. Like I want that. Like it can be overwhelming for sure.
Because I posted it thinking like I have all of 100 followers on my Twitter. I don't talk to people. I wasn't expecting it to blow up the way it did, and I was literally like, now I got to make all of these shirts. But
You're
I'm
like, what
so
did I get
grateful.
myself into?
But I
So
love it, and it's fun. It's like my therapy. I get to just
yep.
sit there and make shirts.
Yes. and that's awesome. And it stinks that I know the Devils did their own Instagram hockey ticket nonsense,
Mhm.
and then got Brad and then yelled at Brad Pack for making something that was Instagram hockey, which I thought was a loaded you know what. But no, it's great. It's great that Ashley is doing this. And she's great. She's very talented as well. Very, very talented. And it's just cool because you're not going to get this type of stuff from the Devils themselves because they can only do so much with Fanatics or whatever provider of merchandise. It's really cool when you see stuff that like somebody will make, or if it's on Etsy or whatever the case. Heck, I literally shared it. Somebody was made a Devil suede jacket, which I thought was unreal. Um, which he also made a suede jacket for David Pastrnak. Apparently, this guy's actually really big.
He
Didn't
is
even
really
realize.
big. I saw it. It's
Yeah, I didn't even.
beautiful.
His thing came up on my feed. I was like, "Hello there," and then I saw the price, and I'm like, "Never mind." Because I was like, "I'll buy one," and then it was like $600. I'm like, "No, I'm good. I'm not gonna go broke." Um, But that's really cool. Um, and I love it. And I love even like what I'm wearing from the hockey guys. People say, "Oh, is this like really a devil's bundle?" No, I mean it is. I mean, from what they told me, and they wore this when they were hanging out at the Prudential Center
Mhm.
for a couple days shooting content. And again, they're still doing that giveaway to win a Jack Hughes jersey, tickets to a Devils game, and a bunch of other stuff. It's like a bundle. Again, I don't know when the contest ends. It's not my contest, but I'm giving them free promotion here for you guys to go check it out. And then if you buy the bundle that I'm wearing, you also get 60 extra entries into the giveaway. So just saying, if you feel like it, tell them Devil State of Mind sent you. Just trying to get that sponsorship with them would be really cool. But I digress.
Would be
Nonetheless,
awesome for you.
I love the hockey guys. I've been following them for a long time. They're really, really cool. And it was really cool that they were there. I wish I had gotten to meet them, but no, they're really cool. I have no idea who the DJs were that they brought with them. I had never heard of them before in my life, but now I follow them and I listen to them on Spotify. So there you go. We we
We
we
met
move.
them. They were sweet. They were
Yeah,
really nice guys.
yeah, they're all like super, super guys. But again, it's just great that there's so much like really cool stuff out there that people can get and rock with, not just your typical like jersey or whatever the case may be. I think it's awesome. And one last thing before I we say goodbye from this episode, I have a very quick announcement to make that'll come out that'll come out on my socials tomorrow. So if you're listening to this episode today, you already know what's coming. But in case you don't, your boy is doing yet another Tom's River Brewery giveaway. That's right. I did one with a Jesper Brett signed picture and also some Tom's River Brewing merchandise. Got another one, a signed Luke Hughes puck and Tom's River Brewing merchandise. Yes, I will be doing yet another giveaway later on this week, and I'll give people a couple of days. If I get it out on Tuesday, I'll have the contest end on Friday, like I did the last time. And all you'll have to do is like the last time, you gotta follow both accounts, tag someone, and you get an extra entry if you share and tag both Devil State of Mind and Tom's River Brewing. And then a winner will be announced at sometime on Friday. And I'll announce that also on my socials. Again, at Devil State of Mind on Facebook, Devil State of Mind on Instagram, and Devil State over on Twitter. Not calling it the other thing. I refuse. But yeah, there's a little breaking news. Ashley, I'm sure will be ready when the giveaway comes out. I'm really excited, and shout out again to Tom's River Brewing, sponsor of the Devil State of My podcast. They are awesome. They've been great since I started working with them. Really, really love work with them, and we're gonna continue to do some awesome stuff down the road. But Ashley, this was wonderful. This was absolutely wonderful. I loved sitting down with you. Um, I really appreciate you taking time out of your day. I know it's a holiday for most people, but some people are still working, obviously. But again, I still appreciate the time that you spent with me today. Again, let the folks at home know where they can check you out on socials or wherever.
Okay, so I'm literally a Zaccardo on Instagram and TikTok.
There you go.
Um, and then it's Ash and Stitch Clothing Co. for my
Hmm.
clothes.
Got
That's
you.
it.
So there you go. And again, like I said, I'll leave a link in the description here on YouTube of her socials and obviously the barn beauties as well because I want you guys to follow. I want to
For
get them
fun.
to 100. I want to get them to 100 before the end of the week. I think that would be really cool if we could do that. Which I will do everything in my power to help you lovely ladies get there. And maybe, actually not even maybe, we are definitely going to have an episode with all of the ladies involved in the page, including Ashley. Uh, I'm really excited to do that. So I'm gonna, I don't,
Yeah.
I'll probably add you all to a group chat and just be like, hey, you know, let me know when you guys want to do this. We'll find a time and date, and we'll get it done, and we'll just chat it up like we just did today.
That'll be a blast.
Oh, absolutely. I'm very much looking forward to it. But Ashley, thank you so much for your time today. And we will definitely have you on the podcast again down the road. But thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.